Oh, you're so nice. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know I had to burp for the vlog.
Hey, what's up? It is the 16th of March. I thought it's a Sunday. I thought that today was the 15th, so that's why I didn't do my vlog until today. But it's the 16th, so I guess I'm a little late. We had a tournament this weekend for Davenport that went pretty well. That's all I'm going to say about that. I've decided I'm going to give my time more things to think things over before I speak about them in my vlog, because I have a lot of thoughts. And it usually goes better when I take a little more time to process my true thoughts on things that are going on. So I'll leave that at that. I had another team building weekend with the Detroit Mechanics. That was a lot of fun. You saw some clips from that. I feel like those weekends have made me so much better in just such a short time span. Something else that I learned is that I need to just be careful. I got back from that weekend and then tried to add these workouts in, and then I got a day or two into the week and just my body was like, stop what you're doing. And so I'm just gonna have to be a lot more intentional and careful with the load that I'm taking with DMX and with Davenport. And so I got to make sure that I'm taking on things as I can take them on, really slowly getting myself into that higher workload, stuff like that. So I think that'll be a bit of a challenge for me. I tend to be very hot or cold with things. And if I go too hot here, I'm going to injure myself. I'm going to burn myself out. Yeah. What else? Something else I've kind of realized that I'm going to have to start really focusing on is getting my body into not just kind of athletic shape, not just slightly more above average athletic shape, but truly really good athletic shape. If I want to continue to press on and become rostered and become a better player, a great player, a name-known player, then there are a bunch of things that I didn't have to take seriously before that I really have to take seriously now. That's the type of player I want to become, and it is. And a lot of that looks like, my hamstring flexibility is something I'm really focusing on. It's been really awful lately, and it really hasn't mattered too much. But now that again, now that I have these bigger goals, now that I have this path ahead of me, it's okay, these are the things I got to do. There's lingering injuries that don't really affect my play unless I'm trying to be the best, unless I'm trying to make roster at the Detroit Mechanics. So there's a lot of just smaller athletic things that I'm really going to focus on and try to get my body not into just okay shape, not into just slightly above average shape, but the best shape I've ever been in. And again, but that being paired with that's really my desire, and that's where my brain goes straight to, and it's okay, here we go, let's do this. I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna get so in shape. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, but if I'm not being smart about that, if I'm not being intentional about that, if I'm not being careful and athletic about that, then I could injure myself, I could burn myself out, I could make things just more difficult for myself down the line. So just that's going to be kind of the balance is that. Something else that happened at the beginning of March was that I received a official diagnosis. So something that I had appointments for and have been planning on working on for a few months now. And so I had been getting tested, I had been filling out surveys, and I had a close friend of mine fill out some information on me and send it into the testing place. And then I had to like wait 2 weeks, and then I had a meeting where they kind of, went in depth with me and like broke down like here's what we found, here are the symptoms that we see in you and stuff like that. And that's actually been like it's been so amazing and helpful to like finally have that from like PhD level psychologist. I know that there are some people who are watching this who might have been like, well, you said this before and you said this before. And there's two things. First things first is that I had received conflicting information in the past. Until you get like officially diagnosed, it's really just kind of an opinion of one person. And I had got multiple different opinions from multiple different therapists. The other thing is that it's very possible that I might have just lied to you. One of the very cool symptoms and personality attributes that I display is that I lie a lot. And so it's very possible that I just made that up because I thought it was true and it made me feel better. So if that's true, I'm sorry. But I was also kind of right. So there's that. The diagnosis is, it was weird because I had multiple different opinions and thoughts from different therapists that I had been seeing over the years. And most recently, I talked to one of my therapists, and I was like, hey, like, do you think that I should get this, like, official diagnosis? And he said, no. He was like, I think that's a bad idea based on your personality and just, like, the conversations I've had with you. He was like, I just don't think that would be good for you. I don't see how it would be helpful. I don't think that, I think that you would like overthink it or dwell on it too much. And then to spite him, I went out and got diagnosed. That particular therapist, I think, I don't know how much of it was my fault. I don't know how much of it was him just completely misreading the situation. But he was the furthest off of anyone I've ever seen, and was just so... Anyway, I'm not going back to him. I've decided I'm going to find a new therapist, especially now that I have this diagnosis. It really helps me finding like a therapist and the type of therapy that will work best for me to help manage my symptoms. I know that guy was wrong and kind of an idiot because the diagnosis has been just relieving. It's kind of like a weight off my shoulders. A small part of me was always scared that they were just going to be like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you're just that terrible of a person. And not that a diagnosis just like excludes everything I've ever done, but it really, I don't know, it validates a lot of the stuff that has happened and a lot of the things that I've felt before. And so it's really nice that I don't have to be like, well, maybe this, maybe that. It's just like, I know this is true about myself now, and I can, whatever. So it's been really nice, actually. It has been really sweet. The diagnosis itself, I've been thinking about this. I had a conversation with some of my really, really close friends about it kind of after it happened. And through those conversations and like just kind of, the week after getting that diagnosis, kind of thinking about the diagnosis and like what that means, like how I feel and all of that, I really discovered that I don't want to like throw a bunch of names and diagnoses and labels at you guys on the vlog or just at people in my life in general. Just because there are a lot of aspects of it that I feel I'm afraid people are going to hear and just take that and just kind of assume a lot with it. And that scares me. I don't like that. I don't like being misrepresented. I don't like people thinking something about me that's not true. And so I just didn't want it to be like, I have this, and then you go look at all the symptoms, and now you just assume that I always act like that. I'm always like that. That's not true. And, mental health as a journey is way more complex than that. And it's not always as simple as you're diagnosed with this, you experience these symptoms, point blank. It's more complex than that. So complex at times, not complex. That being said, I will say that the official diagnosis was other specified personality disorder, which is a fancy way of saying we can't really put you in one box. You experience a bunch of really crazy symptoms. So we're just going to say other specified personality disorder because you're a whole mess. And a highlight of the meeting where she was like telling me my diagnosis is at the end. She was like, "Do you have any questions? The diagnosis you're receiving isn't a very typical diagnosis for people to receive." And so I was like, "Thank you. That means so much to me." So yeah, I think that if you want like a big title or a big name to it, there you go. Other specified personality disorder. But what exactly that entails for me and what exactly those symptoms look like and stuff like that, I think that those things I would love to share with people who are interested. I would love to talk about that. But I would like those to be more personal one-on-one conversations because there are a few aspects of of certain personality disorders that don't really fit me, and I don't want to say like, oh, I fall under this category, and people do assume that about me, right? And there's some things that like I have struggled with, but like again, I just think it's a much more personal conversation when it comes to the details of that stuff. And so if you're curious, if you're interested, like please reach out to me, and I'd love to have conversations with you about that. And it's also nice just to kind of keep some of that to myself, to be honest. So also, if you text me and I don't know you that well, I'm just gonna be like, I don't feel like sharing that with you. Sorry. But yeah, I think that there's still a lot well, first off, I need to find a new therapist because the last guy was an idiot. But second off, I think there's just a lot of work to be done now that it's not that I didn't know these things were true about myself before now, but I think that there's a lot of, I don't know, there's just a lot of like realization to be had about like certain mindsets and thoughts I have and realizing like how much this might be affected by my mental health issues and how much of this might just be like, okay, like normal everyday thing that people deal with. That's fine. And just grappling with the truth of what I found out through the diagnosis and what that means for me. Yeah, I'm just kind of rambling. It's a really hard topic to really, I just got that diagnosis, and I'm still in the very, very early stages of wrapping my mind around everything that it means and everything that it entails. So hence the rambling, but that's my big news, is that I've received a diagnosis and I'm doing a lot better because of it, like truly, genuinely. Also, I'm on these new meds that work way better than the last meds I was on. At least they seem to be working very well. We'll see. There's, meds are those kind of things where you need a few more data points, and I haven't been on this meds terribly long, but compared to the last meds I was on, way better so far. So let's hope they keep on that track. Let's hope for warm weather. I always do better in warmer weather. Yeah, I don't think I have much else to talk about in terms of that or really in terms of the vlog at all. If you have any questions about my mental health or my journey with mental health or, I don't know, just anything, you can always reach out to me.